Hi, this is for all of those times when you think about change. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel that it is hard to change or easy to change? Do you silently say to yourself, oh, this is going to be difficult, or wow, this is going to be easy? Whatever we think on the inside, even though we don't express it on the outside, is usually what happens because whatever it is, it creates a vibration that goes out there. I had a perfect example of it last night where I was involved in a meeting of two old committees getting together as one. One was an old established committee that had been around for a while and working things the way they wanted to, very controlling and things doing things in a certain way, and a new upstart committee that was causing a few ripples on our front in the co-op. And the board of directors, in their infinite wisdom, decided to amalgamate them together. So this was actually the second meeting. And what it all about was Christmas. And people have very different ideas about Christmas and very what I call cemented ideas about Christmas. So there was some major discussion around a simple thing called the tree decorating. We newer members of the new committee had said, well, wouldn't it be nice if we could get the kids to decorate the tree? And it would make it fun. It would make it more family like. It would make it. We could create some ornaments and we could put them on the tree just like before, and the kids will have fun. And the looks that we got and the comments that we got were absolutely, well, that's not going to look right, and we have it done in a certain way, and that's not what we want to do. We have one tree for there and one tree for here, and it's always been decorated that way. So there was lots of confusion. And of course, as the meeting went on, there was, ups and downs and ups and downs, but it was all about change. And of course, the old guard didn't want to let go of the way that they had done things. And those of us that were new on this committee, they'd never been challenged before by members of their group. And we were sort of sticking it to them and saying, well, I think it would be nice if we changed it this way. They wouldn't. They started to get upset. They started to point fingers at us. Well, you're the problem. You don't want this, and so we won't do it at all. And I normally don't say anything, but over the last few years, since I've been really stepping into my power, I didn't challenge them and point fingers. I just remained calm and said, well, I think we should possibly look at doing it this way. And I got called down. Well, I guess we won't do it at all then, if that's what you think. And I said, no, that's not what I said. I said, I think we should perhaps look at it in another way. And they started to try to stare me down. They tried to silence me. I was looking for confirmation with the rest of the group that was around me. And of course, because they were not afraid, they were afraid to say what they felt, and it made them uncomfortable. And I realized that they were all sitting around the table, not wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, but didn't know how to say it, and they wanted to be liked. And when you decide that you want to be liked, it actually, in a sense, diminishes your power. So after much discussion and confusion, there was a decision made. We still don't know whether it's going to actually come to pass because that's what happened. So I know for myself what I said was change is easy and fun for me. And that is what I help my clients with when they come to see me. Because I do a form of muscle testing, but it's in a different context. And I find out if they can say it and believe it, then we don't have to worry about it. But most of the time, when I muscle test them, they are not strong on that. And change should be fun. Change should be easy. But change can be fearful because it means that you're stepping into the unknown and it's not familiar. You don't know whether things are going to change, whether it's going to work out, but you have to be able to be willing to take a risk. And change takes time. And I knew there was going to be conflicts because I can see the different types of personalities that were there. And it was just very interesting to see how people were approaching the conflicting and challenging statements that were made against the old way of doing things. That's what happens to us when we become embedded in wanting to change, because we may have had beliefs for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and we want to change. Well, if we've been living with an old, worn out system of beliefs for all these years, and that includes society, our family, our culture, it literally rocks the boat. And a lot of times when you do that, people make you feel uncomfortable. And then you have to go within you and go, is this worth it? Should I be challenging them? And then it makes you go into self-doubt and go, well, maybe I'm not right after all. So if you want to change, you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You know that if it's something that you're passionate about, you will change. And I understand that because I know how long it took me to get into the aspect of change is fun and change is easy. I want to make changes before the end of the year, not January 1st, before the end of the year, so I can get things going. And that's one of the reasons why I've decided to start doing videos on a regular basis. I did them before in a 10-day challenge, which was share your heart, share your work. And I love helping people change. That's what I am. I'm like a change catalyst. And I listen to your old stories, and I find where you seem to be stuck in wanting to change. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we don't realize how embedded they are in our consciousness. So if anybody wants to attempt to try to change or having problems about wanting to change, you try it for a few days and then you go right back into your old way of doing things. You find excuses as to why you can't do them. It happens all the time. It happens to me still. And I'm lucky enough to have friends and coaches, because I have a coach too, that challenge me on my changes and my inability to change and possibly look at things a different way. So I am more than willing to talk to people and see where they say they want to change. And I have this technique that I use with PSYCH-K, and I also use my other abilities and my channeling abilities to find the perfect words that we need to say to create the belief that is perfect for you. And also the perfection of the sentence that needs to come actually comes from you, because that's what I find out. I am not going to force you to change. What I do is I allow the changes to emerge within you, give you the space to change, and have you find the best words. That's why we're called facilitators. We're helping facilitate your growth. If you would like to have some growth and get ready to take off running on January 1st, 2019, it's coming up, folks, give me a call. I'd be glad to help. Janet signing off.